maybe it's time for me to stop dissociating and start relaxing. As I skimmed Instagram the other day, taking in the humor and the distraction that it gave me, the inspirations, I was responding to some of the responses that people had sent me. I was working technically and yet scrolling at the same time. I came across a post that really made me pause and think. It was just a graphic, and it said, "Are you relaxing or dissociating?" Great question. On the one hand, I was working because I was responding to people, I was answering questions, I was getting some work done. On the other hand, I was just kind of scrolling. Following people and scrolling is something you kind of have to do if you want to build and grow. And yet, it's fairly common to lose an hour or two to scrolling, or more than that. It's really easy to get sucked in and just keep taking in the content that is placed before you. Here's the question though. When you're done scrolling, do you feel better than when you started? Because if you do, then you're relaxing. You're absolutely fueling yourself and filling your soul. Are you finding those nuggets of wisdom that are insights and make you think and help you grow a little bit? Do you pause on those, or do you read it, have an insight, and scroll right past it? Are you feeling better? Are you releasing more stress by scrolling and taking in that content? Or are you really taking a moment to dissociate from life and the world around you? Now, when I think of dissociation, I think about how it starts as relaxing. It starts as just letting go. And then sometimes it's just a lot easier to live in that world than it is to face the challenges that we have in this world, the things that are really difficult, really upsetting, the relationships and the tough conversations that we have to have, the emotions that are constantly running through us. When you're really upset, is it easier to start scrolling and dissociate from that upset than it is to maybe sit down, journal, write it out, get it out of you so that you can understand where is that emotion coming from and what can you do with it? How can you shift it? I had to apply this concept, are you relaxing or dissociating, to my gaming. I love brain games. I love the games that make you think and work through it. I love the word games. I love Kakuro. I love Sudoku. I love the Sudoku ones that you have to come up with a sum in the middle of it. The nonograms, the black and white or colors. I absolutely love thinking and getting my brain going. And I can lose hours playing those games and just letting myself go, enjoying. But am I relaxing or am I dissociating? I love a slow, easy morning. I wake up kind of early, but my brain isn't fully on track. So I want to take time and ease into my day. And oftentimes, waking up and playing those games is what helps to get my brain firing. I don't do caffeine necessarily. I play the brain games. And my brain starts firing, and then I'm excited and roaring and ready to go for the day. But then I'll sit down in the middle of the day and I'll start playing those games, and I might lose an hour or two just by diving into a game. After seeing this Instagram post, I was reminded of a time with one of my kids where we had an argument about addictions and what really is an addiction. He did not believe that caffeine was an addiction because he could stop at any time. And I asked him about playing my games, and he said, "Oh, Mom, that's definitely an addiction." And I said, "But it's not a chemical change in the brain. It's not." He said, "Mom, you're addicted. You can't stop." Now, addiction takes many forms. it can be very detrimental, and sometimes there are addictions that help and serve you. I encourage you to dive in and understand where you're at and which end of the spectrum you're at. If you find that you are addicted to something that is challenging and difficult and not serving you, I highly encourage you to get the support and help that you need to kick it and be able to move on. So we decided that we would challenge each other and see who could go longest without their addiction. It wasn't easy in the beginning. Every day I wanted to pick up my phone and look at it, but instead I would leave my phone on the kitchen counter or whatnot. I would do what I could to support myself in not playing those games and not scrolling or whatever it was. Mine was the games. His was the caffeine and Mountain Dew. Now, he gave in a week into the challenge, and I was still going a month and a half later. I was more productive. I was achieving more. I was clearer headed. And so he finally came clean and said, Mom, I lost about 6 weeks ago because I had a Mountain Dew and I couldn't handle it. I'm wondering if right now I need to challenge myself again to letting go of those games, to letting go of the mindless scrolling. Is it an addiction? Am I dissociating? Because on a few levels, I have had less time for friends. I have had less time for connection. I have had less of a desire to check into the emotions that I'm feeling and what I need to do about them. So maybe it's time for me to stop dissociating and start relaxing. Start putting an intention and a purpose behind it. If I need to be on social media because I need to respond to people and follow people and build, then I put an intention and a time frame behind that. And when I'm done, and I need to get up and move and do other things. So where are you at? How are you doing? What do you think? Are you feeling better, inspired, and excited when you're done doing whatever that is that you do? Or is it time to check in and challenge yourself and see if there's something even better?